Again, the ability to do this fall allows your partner to do a better technique and allows you to do a better technique. Our next demonstration has to do with what can be called an applied technique or a street technique. Aikido allows us to defend ourselves without necessarily having to injure or incapacitate the attacker. Sometimes we can just get out of the way. So we're going to demonstrate this with Catherine, taking a stroll down the park, and Lexter, up to no good, comes in and proceeds to attack. Just get out of the way. It's the basic thing. This way, it doesn't make any difference how big Lexter is or how small Catherine is. You can still get out of the way. In case he doesn't get the hint, then the big guns come out. Thank you, Catherine. Okay, our next is Boken Saburi, sword, basic sword practices. So does everybody get our swords? We study sword technique not because we want to be swordsmen, but because it helps with our regular technique. Everybody will follow David. All of these moves have a particular meaning, which we'll see in just a little bit. That meaning is, of course, the basic Aikido technique of getting out of the way. At first glance, some of these forms look the same, but they're not. They're very subtle differences. Sometimes not so subtle. This is a partner practice. The basic practice is get out of the way and counter strike. Move as his weapon moves. Again, you'll observe there are people who've been doing this for a long time and people who've been doing it for a short time. But our teaching method corrects for that. Sword practice is an integral part of our training. It allows people to make quicker progress with their empty-handed techniques. So it's something we do a lot of. Some of these techniques have been depicted in Japanese literature about combat and weapons work. Some of these techniques are, appear in texts that are 1,000 years old. So these techniques have been around for a long time. Okay, thank you, David. All right, next is a more advanced sword technique, sword form. These are called kumitachi. Basically, these sword forms, this particular set of techniques is among those who are 1,000 years old, and spoken of in literature going back 1,000 years. It's very advanced. The movements are so subtle that it's difficult to tell whether or not the person's getting off the line, but indeed they are, just in a very, very advanced manner. So David and Surin.
First up.
Good morning, sir. And the last one. Thank you, David and Surin. Okay, now in our school we have quite a few children in youth class, and the question that I always ask is how parents deal with children who train in the martial arts. So Barry and his lovely wife Joyce, and their two children, Catherine and Patrick, will demonstrate how this works. It's not a thing that you want to take lightly. Catherine is almost ready for her black belt. Of course, we won't talk about berries, but Catherine's almost ready. So let's see what happens when the kids train and the parents maybe don't train so much. They want a puppy. The old man says no. I think the kids think they're going to get a puppy now. However, we have the equalizer, Mom. Yeah. Oh, yeah. The general phrase here is, if Mama ain't happy, ain't nobody happy.